Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with Rob standing here trying to do something.
What did I just say? I said don't talk. Okay guys, so today we've got a little new addition. I'm going to do a quick vlog on how it goes. Underneath here we have a bike. So this is the nc700. Okay, some people say it's a Deauville replacement. I don't think you could replace a Dill. A Dill or even a Deauville, and that's one of the reasons why it can't replace a Deauville. Chain drive. Now everyone who knows Deavilles, we all know they had a shafty. Shafties are the best. So apart from that though, we're not going to hold it against the bike. So what is it? It's Honda. It's 700cc or 670cc. Interesting. So you might be thinking, where's the fuel? So where is the fuel? Quick turn of the key the other way. There's your fuel. So the fuel's underneath there, which is okay. I'm okay with it being there. Oh, and then you've got a little twiddly thing here. I'm okay with that, but if you've got a load of gear on and you're going off on the bush, then it's no good. Weight wise, she's pretty light, 218 kilo. So it's not a big heavy bike. I've ridden this one round for a couple of weeks now. I can't fault it really. It's incredibly light through traffic. It's very light. Could be a bit psychological because I'm going from the K12, but it just feels so nice when you're cruising through and filtering through traffic. I really like it. So better than the Deauville. I know, sorry, Deauville lovers. It is better than the Deauville for going through traffic. It just seems really stable. I take the boy with 2 up, we go to school. It's really good. Seat height, I would sit on it, but it's wet, so I'm not going to. Seat height, 79 centimeters. So it's a really low bike. Okay, so if you're short like me, I'm not exactly long in the leg. So if you're short, 79 centimeters from the ground. So it's pretty good. What else can I tell you about it? 17-inch rim tyres, so you can get them everywhere. Okay, to be honest, it's not a great thing to race around on. That's not what they designed it for. Engine, we've got a 2-cylinder, half of a car engine apparently. So they've done the technology and they used a car engine to do it. You've got ABS on it, same as what you'd have on most Hondas. Is it a PGM? Is it? You've got fuel injection on it. One of the best things that Hondas have come out with, until it goes wrong, is your HIS system. Honda integrated, well, they call it a Honda ignition security system, which on all Hondas is pretty much standard, and it is really good. You've basically got your transponder inside your chip in here. This one has had a small issue with its ignition key snapping off, so it's got a glued on transponder onto a new key, and it's just great. The Honda integrated system is so good. Well, it's Honda ignition system. I think they used to call it an integrated security system. Basically you've got a chip in there, transponder chip, and then it's on the ring. But the Honda ignition security system is really good because it cuts off the fuel pump, and you can't bypass it because it also, in the CDI unit, it cuts off the sparks. So there's no way of firing a spark, so it is a pain in the ass. I have rebooted them on Deavilles using diodes and stuff, which I should do a video for, which if people ask me enough, I'll do a video on how to do it. Soldering diodes in, and then you manage to get it to talk to the transponder, and away you go. Apart from that, pretty basic. Cable clutch, nice to see. I quite like a cable clutch. So you've got a cable clutch, basket in there, everything pretty much as standard with normal Hondas. We'll go and get some kit on, and then we'll go for a spin. Okay, right, so here she is, a little test run. So obviously I'm wearing my full kit. It has just been pissing down, but it's the first bit of sun we've had, so let's get watching it. I've got me Alpine Star overgloves. No, they aren't, they're Spartas, not Alpine Stars. I'll tell you what, you've got to have this, especially when she hasn't got any what's it. So we'll go for a play, shall we? Consider how close Mr. Corsa is. we'll get off there. That's where the big puddle is, where I sunk the other day. We had so much rain. Like I said though, I mean, you wouldn't push the K12 off there. So again, let's go for a little spin. See, I've got about half an hour on the old thing, and we'll go and have a play. So, as I've already mentioned, oh, I'm about to get run over. Fucking hell. Just drive into you, innit? It's great. As you can see, you have your invisibility suit on. Now, I've already mentioned how light this thing is. Now, I don't know if that's a psychological thing, because I've come from riding the K1200. So anything's going to be light compared to the 1200. And she's like probably up 300 kilos. Like I said, this is only a light one. So I kind of, rather than commuting, because I mean you wouldn't want to go, I commute down to 40 as everyone knows on my other videos, and the K12 is doing quite well actually after becoming, well, she was a death trap. So to commute on this, yes, definitely if you're in a dry country. So this shitty old wet country, where's he going? If you're in a nice hot country, oh, what a wonderful bike this would be. But the fact is, I'm in the UK and it's wet, cold, so you've got to have your heated grips. No heated grips. And as for the K, you got a heated seat. Yeah, bollock warmer. So as for a commuter bike, I don't know if it can live up to that, because there's not a lot of wind resistance. I mean, really Honda? But if it's in city work, oh my god, the clutch, I must admit, the clutch is wonderful. Such a light clutch, like almost to the extent you can hardly feel it. I've heard some interesting sort of things about this one, what people have been complaining about. A noisy front wheel. They've been complaining about the wing mirrors being triangle, not round. Really? Really? Now, it's not the most liveliest of thing, but to be honest, like I said, if you're in town, fucking banging. Now, it's really narrow, like really narrow. So if it wasn't for the fact that I'm missing part of my genitalia, it'd probably be quite uncomfortable. And there's no sponge in that seat, so arsehole bones, you feel them if you've been on this a while. So I'm just going to keep yapping and keep riding her and see if I can come with anything I don't like. One of the weird things with it, when you come to a junction, so you'll come to a junction and stop, so you'll clack it down to first gear, but first gear feels higher, which is quite bizarre, where you'd expect it to go down, so it just feels higher. Now, I know these are shitty things for people to pick on, and there are so many great things. I mean, this thing, have you seen the mileage, guys? That's what I should have showed you. Check the mileage out. Can you see that? 124,000 miles, 505. That's the mileage this thing's done. Yes, it's had a lot of servicing, like £100 worth of servicing. But if you want your bikes to live, which we want them to go and keep going. See, like now I've popped into first, and that pedal feels like it's come higher. It's quite bizarre. So this is traffic. This is what you're going to get. And I tell you what, I'm quite tickled with it. I mean, I didn't put my feet down there, and I just kept riding it. And I'm really impressed. For a geared bike, it feels really nice. Lovely gear changes. I mean, it's Honda in it. Very light on the foot. You're not having to fight those gears. They're really positive. There's no worries of a false neutral. I'm just really impressed with the gear changes. Clutch is nice. it's just really nice. The only thing that is a bit weird is that when you tap her into first. Apart from that, what a shit up bike. The display's pretty good, you can see that quite easy. It does tend to attract a lot of moisture, but then it's England and fucking country attracts moisture. So if you want a replacement for a Deauville or a Commuter or I'm not going to call it a Commuter because it's not a Commuter. There's no way this is a Commuter because of the lack of fairings to keep you dry, the lack of a screen, the lack of protection. But if you're in a city, you're not going to need much of that. And I'll tell you what, you won't be doing the speed to need much of it. Oh, we love it when people do that when you're on a bike. Oh, I can smell food. So I can't really, I don't want to call it a Commuter. I mean, if you're commuting through a city, fantastic Honda, amazing bike. Security for your helmet, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But if you're commuting like I do, so I'm doing an hour's trip to work in Foy and an hour's trip home, in the summer, yeah, it'd be great. But there's no way this can live up to being good enough to do the winter. Sorry, Honda. But in the summer, wow, what an amazing bike. I would ride this down to Foy, but I think my ass, we ass cheeks might have felt a bit bony. Grips feel a bit smaller, but that's probably because there's no heated grips and I'm used to them. Death Wisher, that's a cyclist by the way, because they take risks, especially around here in Plymouth. They cycle on Jock Ridgeway. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Alright? Use your brain, people. Ow, puppy. Apparently these are reputed to do 70 plus to the gallon, and I've got to admit, I've had it a few weeks now and I've used it for all the commutes, buzzing into town, all sorts of stuff, and it's still got like, it's only got lost 1 bar on the tank. Comfort wise, when you put your legs down, this is when you feel it's narrow, especially if you're putting both legs down. Then you feel it dig in, well I do, feel it dig into my skinny little legs. Now people have said that I had a bet with a sparrow for his legs and I lost. So, and I can bite an apple through a letterbox. I used to say that as well because I've got goofy teeth. But anyway, I'm meant to be telling you about the bike. Bearing in mind this has done 125,000 miles, and you'd expect maybe to feel a little bit of floppiness in the clutch, maybe a couple of inaccuracies changing gear, but I tell you what, none of it. Absolutely none of it. There's still plenty on there. There's still plenty of go when there's 2 up. You know there's 2 up. It's a real difference on this one. All me boys getting bigger and fatter, because you do notice it now. On this one, like, you have to rev it. It's not a very torquey engine when there's 2 up. So when it comes to that, but when it comes to usability, what an amazing little bike. It really is an amazing little bike, and especially for city use. Good all-round visibility on it with these mirrors. I quite like them. They're there when you need them. Just checking me go, bro. I'll be dipped. Okay, so I thought I'd just start off with a bit of city riding, because that's what I feel is this thing that they've really trumped it. I mean, I filter all the time, but I find some bikes just feel a little bit jiggly wiggly. This thing just seems really positive, especially if you're on the lines. So if you're hit on the line, sometimes it can feel a bit jiggly wiggly. But I tell you what, I don't know whether it's, I'm used to running the 21s on the front of the Transalp. It's great. Tone of the exhaust. Should we comment on that? I tend not to give a monkeys about how they sound, or I did love that VTR. My God, I love that, and I miss it, and I want it back. But it's gone now. So this one is up for sale, by the way. So anyone watching this thinking to see what it runs like, this is what they run like, and that's how this one runs like. So traffic again. Oh, we could say in this one, couldn't we? Because we're a bike. So riding the bus lane, don't you feel my mind? Layout's pretty good. Horn's pretty good. You do hit that when you got your lobster claws. You do hit it then. So that's a bit annoying. Apart from that, though, everything normal layout for a Honda. Lights are always on. It's a bit weird. I quite like on this one, it actually hasn't got the cover on the light down there. So it's quite good because you can see your lights are always on. So that's kind of a good thing, really. So I mean, look at it. It's just such a nice bike to ride. And like I said, power. I don't think we can say it's a powerful thing, but I tell you what, we can say. We can say value for money. I mean, it really is a perfect city bike. I mean, you know me, I've ridden shitloads of stuff, and it's just a real pokey little bike, you know. It's responsive, it's smooth. It really is smooth on the acceleration. I mean, really smooth. You don't even know you've accelerated. You know, there's no delay in the pick. It's fuel injected though, guys, and it's a PGM, is it? PGM Honda system. It's on everything. It's a really good system, and obviously with injection you get more miles and you get more power. Bizarre. And considering the price of fuel, yesterday when I filled up the BMW was £1.81, and we're on what, the 7th, 8th of January, February, March 2022. That's fucking crazy. But these things are meant to do 70 to the gallon, so and I, to be honest, yeah, I think that's probably right. I wish I'd done the multi thing, the trip thing. You got the two trips on there to do it. Obviously I ain't got a finger that's free because I got my claws on. I got to big up these Spaders just over gloves. It's been really cold, even with the heated grips on full whack. It's been cold and I've needed them, and they've been great. They've really cut through the wind and kept my hands nice and cozy, toasty and cozy. So we're gonna head out to Dartmoor, and I'm just gonna keep going until I run out of batteria. I mean, look at that. It's just so smooth at slow speeds for filtering. Really, really smooth. And I can't fault that. I mean, I'm really surprised at that. So if you want a city bike and you don't want a scooter, you actually want a bike, I would go for an NC. Over a 400 Bergman or something, I would go for one of these, because it's just as easy to ride as a scooter that's twist and go, and actually a little bit more fun. You know, it keeps you switched on a little bit more. Oh look, someone's lost a parrot. Tell you a joke, Russian joke, about a parrot. This guy loses his parrot in Russia. This is obviously a Cold War joke, and I was actually told to Gorbachev by Ronald Reagan. I always like to tell a joke. Guy loses his parrot in Russia. So he goes to the KGB and he says, I just want to inform you I've lost my parrot. And they said, well, you don't need to tell us, mate. You need to tell the police station, your local police station, you've lost him. Yeah, but I thought I'd come to you first and just tell you my fucking parrot's a liar. The KGB was the secret police in Russia back in the Cold War, and you'd sort of vanish. Guess who was the head of the KGB? Oh yeah, President Putin. Putin, you're footing it again. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, it's all gone a bit Putin, isn't it? Little trolley bike there, give a little wave, got a wave. Keep looking because I want to make sure I'm still recording. Okay, so let's see how far we get to what do you call it? There's loads of shitty oil on this road and it's just been pissing down. I mean, it really is great. Yeah, they don't want to live, do they? What does I say? South Coast Media. So, oh, should we put that on? I've got. Do you know what? It's hard to pick fault with this, apart from silly things, you know. No heated grips, so it's aftermarket. Whack it on. Seating position's really nice. Seat could do with a bit more padding. I mean, if you're a big girl, you'd be loving. Okay, built for comfort, not speed. Obviously, I am built for speed. So I would like a nicer seat, but yeah, go for it. It's all right. Bit of drafty round the old Winky today. Don't know why that is. The flies aren't undone, or they might be. Could just be the way the fairings are. I mean, the looks of this bike, I've got to admit, as looks go for a modern bike, it's a very nice looking bike. And for not a whiz bike, you know, for not a fast bike, it looks great. It really does look great. I mean, I would go for this one if you were maybe getting back into bikes, a bit like what the Deauville was. If you're getting back into the bikes and you wanted a bike to ride, you didn't want something too quick, but you were going to put the mileage on it, go for one of these. I mean, I cannot fault these. Obviously it's not a Deauville, no way is it a Deauville, because that is the best bike in the world, average. Whereas this just tips it. I think this tips it on sort of the street riding. I think it's a lot nicer than a Deauville. And it does feel narrow. I don't think it is narrow with these big bars. These do look bigger, but I tell you what, it gives the illusion of being a narrow bike. Yeah? I mean, it's, like I say, it's not slow. I mean, it's all right if you wind it up. No rev counter. Oh yes, there is, the little LEDs. So, I mean, but it's quite quiet considering the exhauster's got a little crack in it. So you can ride it. There's a bit of wind, there is a bit of noise, but I haven't got earplugs in. It'll cruise at 70 quite happy. I'm just worrying about that big, ooh, interesting bloody cloud up there, because otherwise GoPro will be going away because she ain't got her waterproof cover on. But I had to get this one out and take her for a spin for you before I put her up for sale. So, fuck, it's rough out there, isn't it? Let's have a look. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It looks fucking rough over there, lads. And like I said, no protection on this bad boy. So you're in the wet, and it's pretty stable, pretty comfortable. Well, it's probably psychological. I think this is more stable in the wet than the K12, because of the fact I crashed at K12. So yeah, it's a bit more noise now, so it's 60 miles an hour. But I mean, it's bearable. It's bearable noise. It's not horrible. So it's not awful. So I just thought I'd give you a quick spin on this before I get rid of it. And I mean, I'm gonna miss it. It's gonna be another Deauville, I think. But the thing is, like, money's tight. I've got the K. So I think what we'll do is we'll pull off and see if I can find. We'll pull off, not pull you off. We'll pull off and see if we can find. Well, it's definitely an eggy smell out here. And we'll see if we can find somewhere to have a little look at her, just see what she looks like. Because I've got to admit, she's grown on me. I mean, I've been buzzing around on this one for a good few days now. Went too fast for you looking at the sky. So we'll pull off and see about having a little look at her. Because I think I do need to show you what she looks like again, because it is a cracking looking machine. I mean, they say it's a Deauville replacement. It's far better looking than the Deauville. The Deauville was just, oh my god, what a thing the Deauville was to look at. I mean, there's no aesthetics on the Deauville. sorry, Deauville lovers. If you look at a Deauville, especially a white one like I had, it just looked like you had a it just looked like you had it just looked like you were sat on top of a bathtub because it was white. We're actually up Harrow Beer, which is an old airfield. So I mean, it does go quite well. So this was Harrow Beer. This was a Second World War runway, so the runway stretched out triangle over there. So we're just going pull over and have a little look at her. And look, gravel, guys, what a comfy bike on the gravel. We all know what bikes are like when they've got shitty fucking smooth tyres and you start dragging it across all those sticks you're going to have problems with. You start dragging it on gravel. How fucking awesome. How awesome. Oh, I quite like the stand as well. The stand's quite nice because the stand is comes up here after the pedals. So I mean, guys, what do you think? It's not an ugly thing, is it? There's no way you could say that's an ugly bike. And the sun's come out now. I mean, it's great. I do always worry when you've got radiators here. It's just asking for it. I mean, you've got to get, I think I've got a guard for one of these. You've got to get radiator guards. You've got to look after it, especially if you go commute it. I can't believe this bike has done 100,000 miles. I can't believe it. To just look at it, it does not look like a bike that's done 100,000 miles to me. No way. Oh, there's a little break there. Look. No way. No way. I could not believe it when I looked at it and they said, yeah, that's done 100. I looked in the book, it's like 120,000 miles. I'm like, what? I'm just tighten you up a bit because you're getting a bit floppy doppy. There you go, look. That's the runway. Harrow Beer. Harrow Beer. Okay, I knew a story of a flying fortress that landed. So where are we? You are here, look. So one runway went off that way, one runway went that way. So I do that for the wind, don't they? But there's some interesting stories about a flying fortress who landed here, and it's a really tiny airfield. So it's a bit far being rearmed. Look, 193 squadron. Scrabble, scrabble, scrabble. Wow, look at this. I've never really looked at this one over this side. Pretty cool, isn't it? Second World Airfield at Group 10 Fires Command. Look at that. Nationalities: British, Polish, Canadian, American, French, Czechoslovakian. What the fuck? What the fuck, yeah? This is what annoys me, people. Oh shit, me, you nearly fell in a puddle. That was lucky, wasn't it? Well, okay, as I've took you off now. Jesus, did you see that? I nearly dropped you. So, you're a bit fucking misty and filthy. Let's place you within my bosom. Place you within my bosom to clean you off. Because it's like a dirty video. Putting Vaseline on the lens. Oh, I could use my dead cat. Hey, you can see